Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pravarikacharya Stotra Sadasi Srimad Abhayachana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinde ki Jai, Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki Jai. You see the screen is not online? Yeah, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Move it. Granta Srimad Bhagvatam ki Jai. Yajnitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Being asset. Whichever you want to sell.
Full screen.
It's full screen. It's full screen. Yeah.
Just that one.
It's full screen. He says you need to put it in perspective, that's all. Okay, so may I ask, come forward if you're too far away. You can stay in the chair, but come closer. So I don't have to use my binoculars. Okay, so today we're just going to attempt to speak a little bit on the glories of the Srimad Bhagvatam and explain what the Srimad Bhagvatam is also. So we're going to begin by reciting some prayers composed by Srila Sanatana Goswami on glorification of the Srimad Bhagvatam. Sarva Shastra Vipiyusha Sarva Vedaika Satpala Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya Sarva Lokaika Drikprada. Sarvagya Prabhu, would you like to read the translation?
O nectar from the ocean of all scriptures, singular fruit of all the Vedas, rich mine of the precious gems of all the conclusive truths, you are the only the giver of light to all the worlds.
Sarva Bhagavata Prana Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu Kali Dhvanto Ditaditya Shri Krishna Parivartita. Damoda Vilas Prabhu.
O life air of all the supreme Lord's devotees, O Master Srimad Bhagavatam, you are the sun rising in the darkness of Kali. You are the exact image of Sri Krishna.
Paramananda Pataya Prema Varshaksharayate Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namastute. Namaste. I bow down to you who are supremely blissful to read. Your every syllable pours down a flood of prema. You can always be served by everyone. You are Shri Krishna himself. Mad ekavando mad sangin mad guru mad mahadana man nishtaraka mad bhagya mad ananda namastute. Arun, would you like to read the translation?
My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my great wealth, my savior, my good fortune, my source of ecstasy, I bow down to you.
Asadu sadhu tadayin ati nicho chatakaram. Hana munchakada chingmam premna hrit kanta yospura. O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O exalter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Always appear in my heart and my voice with pure love. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're gonna read a few verses from the Srimad Bhagvatam, and because today is the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, we're gonna recite this verse. Proshtapadyam Purnamasyam Hema Singhasamam Vitam Dadati Yo Bhagavatam Sayati Paramam Gatim. If on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. Today is the full moon of the month of Bhadra. And we have now in ISKCON what is called the Bhadra campaign, in which the distribution of the Srimad Bhagavatam is being encouraged. So, we bringing out the Bhagavatams here. It's not a sales pitch, but we're just making you aware of the benefits of giving the Srimad Bhagavatam on this day. But needless to say that giving the Bhagavatam any day will give you a great auspiciousness also, but particularly today. So, what is Srimad Bhagavatam? That's will be that, like, the obvious question. Huh? And what we're going to do is, today, I'm just, because it's a short class anyway, and we're limited for time, we're just going to speak a little glories of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then where I'm going to focus for the next 2 weekends, also on Sunday and next Friday, and next Friday and Saturday actually, I'm going to explain or describe the appearance of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the history behind it. And it's actually one of the really nice, sweet sections of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the appearance, Narada Muni instructing Vyasadeva, and how it all came about. Okay? But today we're going to recite a few verses. So, basically, also we'll have to give a little history of the background of the Bhagavatam, that the history begins with sages assembled in a holy place. And well, we'll start with the second public recitation of the Srimad Bhagavatam took place at Naimisharanya. And the sages asked various questions. And the last question they asked was, now that Krishna, who is the shelter of religious principles, has departed, accompanied by religion, etc., then where have the religious principles gone for shelter? Bruhi Yogeshvare Krishna Brahmanya Dharma Vartmani Swankastang Adunopete Dharma Kam Sharanangatim. Or, now that Krishna has gone, because Krishna came. And what is the purpose of Krishna coming into this world? According to Bhagavad Gita. Paritranaya sadhunam dharma samsthapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. That he comes to establish the religious principles, but now that he has gone, where do the religious principles take shelter? Okay, so that was the last question asked by the sages at Naimisharanya to Sutta Goswami. So, where do the religious principles go for shelter? Any idea? Where the Bhagavatam, the Bhagavatam. So, in the beginning of the answer to this question, there is 2 verses, and we're going to recite both of them. So we'll recite them and let's speak a little bit. Okay, we can recite them again. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swastyaya Namaha. Oh, the full translation is not there. Okay, this Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Now the answer to the question was, where have the religious principles come for shelter? Krishna swadamopagate dharma jnana divisaha kalau nashtadrisham esha puranarko dhunodita. Chelsea, would you like to read the translation?
sorry, I've just completely frozen. I've just gone.
No. Okay.
This Bhagavatam Purana is the brilliant as the sun. Is as brilliant as the sun, and it is written just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to this dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from the Purana.
Hmm? So what is the Srimad Bhagavatam? No? That's the question here. What is the Bhagavatam? According to what we have just read, can you reflect on what is the Srimad Bhagavatam? Let's check the memories. Yeah, Chelsea?
It's the instruction of how to find your way out of the darkness.
Okay.
It's Kali's
In the introduction is the Bhagavad Gita, you could say. This is the postgraduate study. This is like, includes everything, of course. Yeah, what is the Bhagavatam? It's the literary incarnation of Krishna. So, Krishna appears sometimes as an animal. Okay? Which incarnation of Krishna is that? Okay? Varaha. Sometimes, or Kurma, Matsya. Well, sometimes he appears as a fish. Okay? Sometimes he appears as a bird. So who is that? Hamsa. Yeah. Sometimes he appears as a demigod. Vamanadev. Yeah. Sometimes he appears as himself. Krishna. And sometimes he appears as a book. So what is that? Srimad Bhagavatam. So I think this is the most important point to understand actually. That Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna are non-different. They are one and the same. And like we are seeing in this picture and in this verse, Krishna swadamupagate dharma jnanadi visaha kalo nashta drishamesha puranarko dunadita. Puranarko, this Bhagavatam is as brilliant as the sun. And what is the purpose of the Srimad Bhagavatam? Why has the Bhagavatam appeared? To give light. To whom? To us. Kalau nashadrishamesha. This is to the people in the Kali Yuga. And what's the characteristic of the Kali Yuga? Is darkness. Is darkness. So many wrong ideas, wrong conclusions. You just need to watch the news and look what's going on in the world right now. It's topsy-turvy. To put it mild, really, you know. Religion has become vice, virtue has become vice, and vice has become virtue. And sometimes it's almost inconceivable that the ideas people are presenting as acceptable, you know. So this is Kali Yuga. It's an age of quarrel, it's an age of hypocrisy, it's an age of confusion, it's an age of indecision, not unclear. So Krishna, in the form of the Bhagavatam, appears to give light. So the Bhagavatam is actually the shelter in Kali Yuga, in the form of a book. If we want to get shelter, I remember when I first, just came to my mind as I'm talking now, when I first was introduced to Krishna consciousness, my Varma Pradarshaka Guru, he said, "You want to read a book?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "I want to give a book who is going to transform my life. I'm looking for that book, And he said, "I have it." Srimad, and I believe him actually. I believe, wow, what's that book called? Srimad Bhagavatam. And interestingly enough, I didn't speak English at the time. I just arrived in England actually, like I was in England for like 3 weeks. And then he brought me, he said, "Well, I think there is a Spanish version of the Bhagavatam in the temple, And there was. There was a first canto of the Bhagavatam in Spanish, And I got it, and it became my companion, and my shelter And I did experience what the Bhagavatam is supposed to do. And it's supposed to give us shelter. Anyone looking for shelter? Yes? Have you found it? You should have found it by now. Prabhupada's lotus feet. You see, but Bhagavatam, needless to say, Prabhupada, you see, actually when Prabhupada came to the West, actually also on this day, it was the day that Prabhupada took sannyas. Yeah? And Prabhupada was asked one time that you're going to the West, Are you going to the West? And Prabhupada said, no, I'm not going to the West. Bhagavatam is going to the West, and I'm going with the Bhagavatam. You see? And if you, I don't know, if you see, when Prabhupada came, he brought with him. Actually, when Prabhupada came to New York, 1965, do you know what he had with him? Anyone? He had a few trunks of books, and it was the first canto of the Srimad Bhagvatam. I mean, so much history behind it, but okay. First canto of the Bhagavatam. No, first canto. It was 3 volumes, 3 parts, okay? But it was just a first canto. He had actually been advised by one of his well-wishers. He was writing back to Godhead. And he said, you should write a book. People don't care so much about magazines. So he began writing the Srimad Bhagavatam. He wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam in the Radha Damodar temple, in his rooms at Radha Damodar. I don't remember my exact years. He traveled in 1965, so that may have been 1962 to 1965. I could get it wrong, but around those days. And if we read the Bhagavatam, now we see how Prabhupada has such a kind of clear vision. He had not been to the West. He had not come to the West. He had not been outside of India. And he was empowered to give this message. So when he came to the West, he had like seven. How many rupees it was? 40 rupees? You could not exchange that at the time. There was no Indian people at that time, practically no Indians. Now Indians everywhere, right? But, those days, there was nothing, very few people anyway. So all he had with him, needless to say, it was his faith in the order of his guru, and a heart full of compassion, and the holy name, and Srimad Bhagavatam, And the beginning of this mission is based on, the basis of the movement is the Srimad Bhagavatam, actually. He had a pamphlet, was a message of goodwill. And he was selling the Bhagavatam. That's what he sold one set of 3 books to the captain of the ship. And then you see, I don't know if you've seen his Jaladuta diary, but he was selling the books to different bookshops, and, that's all he had. Yeah. And throughout his preaching, Prabhupada dedicated the best time of his day to the translation of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He will wake up sometimes like 12 o'clock, midnight, and he will translate for a few hours. That was his routine. And he prayed to Krishna to take away his sleep so he could actually translate. And then Prabhupada had a very busy schedule, You can imagine managing a society with all kinds of people coming, taking shelter of him, crazy youngsters, acid heads, He had a massive organization to dealing with devotees' minds, But he still maintained his schedule to translate Srimad Bhagavatam every day. And my own personal understanding of this is not only Prabhupada was getting that power from that also. Prabhupada was getting the power for the association, the Srimad Bhagavatam, because what are we saying? Bhagavatam is, what is the Bhagavatam? It's Krishna himself. So he was getting that association daily, that empowerment, directly from the syllables, from the translations. So then, the Bhagavatam is the shelter is the literary incarnation of Krishna. And basically, I would like to actually read a little bit from the purport of these verses, because they are very, very beautiful. How do we do this? Let's see. So, practically the objective of doing this is to understand the importance of the Bhagavatam in a devotee's life. And the Bhagavatam, when is considered the topmost book for the Vaishnavas, is the main book for the Vaishnavas, okay? And Lord Chaitanya, he expressed that actually the Bhagavatam is the topmost Praman. Topmost Praman means like the topmost authority. If you want to, any scripture, is the Grantaraj, is the king of all the scriptures. It says that basically is the king, the king of the Puranas. All other books, they're just servants of the Bhagavatam. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada's guru, he said that actually if all the books in the world will be burned, but one book will remain, Srimad Bhagavatam, said there will be no loss of knowledge. And he said that all good fortune will come to that place where the Bhagavatam is being recited and discussed. And similarly, he says, if all educational institutions will vanish, but the one place where the Bhagavatam is recited remains not lost. So the Bhagavatam plays a very important role in the life of the devotees, and all our the main acharyas in our line, they have commented on the Srimad Bhagavatam, and they have heard and recited Bhagavatam on a daily basis. Lord Chaitanya himself, when he was in Jagannath Puri, he will spend hours hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Who will recite Bhagavatam to Lord Chaitanya? Anyone? No? Swarup Damodar. Who else? Okay, well, yeah. Gadadhar Pandit. Who is Gadadhar Pandit? Srimati Radharani. Yeah? And what pastimes he will recite? Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Maharaj. And he will recite the pastime, and he will hear the pastime. Like sometimes you hear a story, you want to get to the end, right? But he will finish reciting the pastime, and Lord Chaitanya will say, recite it again. Let's hear it again. And let's hear it again. And again. And again. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, he will recite Bhagavatam with different melodies to Lord Chaitanya. Different verses. And they will take great relish in hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's and as I said, all our acharyas they have expressed the glorification of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said that the glory of the Srimad Bhagavatam is that will let the reader with only one desire. Guess what desire will be? Love Krishna. All other desires will fly from the heart. No more material aspirations. What is the Bhagavatam? Literally, the Bhagavatam is Srimad Bhagavatam, is the book of Bhagavan. Okay? It's the book that contains the pastimes and the pastimes not only of the Lord, but the pastimes of the Lord and His devotees. And when we hear about the Lord and His devotees, you see in the Bhagavatam, we get to actually meet them personally. We get to actually meet Krishna in the Bhagavatam. We get to meet with Narada Muni. We get to meet with Sutta Goswami, Shukadeva Goswami. All these people, right? These great devotees, and the aspirations they are transferring to our hearts. So this is the power of the Bhagavatam. And Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he says that, you know that verse when he says that if you are still attached to family life, and family, social friends and that, he said, don't go to Keshigat. Don't go to Keshigat. Why? Because if you go to Keshigat, then there is Krishna with this young boy with this three-banded form. He's casting sidelong glances, smiling. He said, you lose all attraction for family, friends, society. So don't go there, right? So what is he saying? Huh? Is he saying going or not going? Huh? Go. Huh? So similarly, in the same line, he also has a verse, he says, like, you idiot, he says, you must have been reading the syllables of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He says, because now I can see that you have no longer any attraction for the benefits of dharma, kama, artha, moksha, or religiosity, sense gratification, elevation to the heavenly planets, artha, prosperity, and moksha, liberation. You don't want these things anymore. You must have been listening to the syllables of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And throughout the Bhagavatam, the benefits of hearing the Bhagavatam are, described in the Bhagavatam, elaborately described. Okay, so let's read a little bit since we are at it. So, okay. This scripture named Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Purport. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared that Srimad Bhagavatam is a spotless sound representation of all Vedic knowledge and history. Therein are selected histories of great devotees who are in direct contact with the personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Lord Sri Krishna and is therefore non-different from him. Srimad Bhagavatam should be worshipped as respectfully as we worship the Lord. Thereby we can derive the ultimate blessings of the Lord through its careful and patient study. So Srimad Bhagavatam is like a deity. When you bring the Bhagavatam into your home, you are bringing Krishna into your home. You can, just like we worship the deity, we offer flowers, we offer incense. We can worship the Bhagavatam in the same way. We do courses in Mayapur on studying the Bhagavatam. We always begin by worshiping the Bhagavatam. And this is one thing I was saying. What means Krishna and the Bhagavatam are non-different? Like when you read the Bhagavatam, okay, let's read on. You get actually the personal association of Krishna. So what Krishna does with us? Why we love Krishna? Why do you love Krishna? Sarvagya Prabhu?
He is a supreme personality and he is our well-wisher.
He is your well-wisher, okay. Someone else? Why? Yes, Aaron.
He's all attractive.
He is all attractive, yes. Someone else? Why do you love Krishna?
Is all merciful.
He's all merciful, he said the same. The mercy aspect is an important aspect, right? He's very merciful. What else? Why? He will protect us, he's the protector. Yes, anything else? Why?
He has the ability to remove us from this 84 million.
He has the ability to give us liberation, to give us sansaya.
And he is only the Purusha.
He is the Supreme Purusha, okay, the Supreme Person. he gives happiness to the heart. He reciprocates. Krishna reciprocates, right? Have you experienced Krishna's reciprocation? Is it nice? Huh? So the Bhagavatam also reciprocates with the reader. When you hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, you get to experience his personal reciprocation from the Lord. And that's why those who are advanced in Krishna consciousness, they are so attached to the Bhagavatam. You get to personally associate with Krishna and his devotees. Thereby, we can derive the ultimate blessings of the Lord through its careful and patient study. As God is all light, all bliss, and all perfection, so also is Srimad Bhagavatam. We can have all the transcendental light of the Supreme Brahman, Sri Krishna, from the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, provided it is received through the medium of the transparent spiritual master. Lord Chaitanya's private secretary, Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami, advised all intending visitors who came to see the Lord at Puri to make a study of the Bhagavatam from the person Bhagavatam. The person Bhagavatam is the self-realized bona fide spiritual master, and through him only one can understand the lessons of the Bhagavatam in order to receive the desired result. One can derive from the study of the Bhagavatam all benefits that are possible to be derived from the personal presence of the Lord. It carries with it all the transcendental blessings of Lord Sri Krishna that we can expect from his personal contact. Can get direct association with Krishna through the recitation of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Shall we read another one? I will go to the text 43. Okay? This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Sri Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. Lord Sri Krishna has his eternal dham or abode, where he eternally enjoys himself with his eternal associates and paraphernalia, and his eternal abode is a manifestation of his internal energy, whereas the material world is a manifestation of his external energy. When he descends to the material world, he displays himself with all paraphernalia in his internal potency, which is called Atma Maya. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that he descends by his own potency, Atma Maya. His form, name, fame, paraphernalia, abode, etc. are not therefore creations of matter. He descends to reclaim the fallen souls and to re-establish codes of religion which are directly enacted by him. Except for God, no one can establish the principles of religion. Either he or a suitable person empowered by him can dictate the codes of religion. I'm just thinking we're going to have time. Yeah. Okay. Real religion. Okay, here is an important sentence from Prabhupada books. You know what real religion means? Here it is. Real religion means to know God, our relation with him, and our duties in relation with him, and to know ultimately our destination after leaving this material body. Okay? So what is real religion? Without looking, what is real religion? Someone, yeah? To know God. Our relationship with him. Our duties. And our destination. Clear? Someone asks you what is religion? This is religion. To know who is God. Yes. What is my relationship with him? What is my duties to him? And where am I going to after I leave this body? If I don't know these things, then where is the If religion doesn't give me the answers to these questions, it's incomplete, isn't it? You have to know who you are. You have to know who is God and what is your relationship. When you know what your relationship is, then you know what your duties are and your destination. Okay. The conditioned souls who are entrapped by the material energy hardly know all these principles of life. Most of them are like animals engaged in eating, sleeping, feeding, and mating. They are mostly engaged in sense enjoyment under the pretension of religiosity, knowledge, or salvation. They are still more blind in the present age of quarrel or Kali Yuga. In the Kali Yuga, the population is just a royal edition of the animals. They have nothing to do with the spiritual knowledge or godly religious life. They are so blind that they cannot see anything beyond the needs of the body. They have no information of the spirit soul beyond the jurisdiction of the subtle mind, intelligence, or ego. But they are very much proud of their advancement in knowledge, science, and material prosperity. They can risk their lives to become a dog or hog just after leaving the present body, for they have completely lost sight of the ultimate aim of life. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, appeared before us just a little prior to the beginning of Kali Yuga, and he returned to his eternal home practically at the commencement of Kali Yuga. While he was present, he exhibited everything by his different activities. He spoke the Bhagavad Gita specifically and eradicated all pretentious principles of religiosity. And prior to his departure from this material world, he empowered Sri Vyasadeva through Narada to compile the message of the Srimad Bhagvatam. And thus, both the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagvatam are like torch bearers for the blind people of this age. In other words, if men in this age of Kali want to see the real light of life, they must take to these two books only, and their aim of life will be fulfilled. The Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of the Bhagavatam, and the Srimad Bhagavatam is the summum bonum of life, Lord Sri Krishna personified. We must therefore accept Srimad Bhagavatam as the direct representation of Lord Krishna. One can see Srimad Bhagavatam, can see also Lord Sri Krishna in person. They are identical. What else can you say? It's clear, isn't it? The message is pretty clear. The next verse is very nice. We don't have time for it. But the Bhagavatam, and what happens, because we are very... Kali Yuga is very thick, and the influence of Kali Yuga is very strong. So it's kind of hard to pick up the Bhagavatam. And I find that whenever you're going to pick up the Bhagavatam, the phone rings, or you get an email, or someone knocks in the door, or even, the child starts crying, something happens. Something happens. And to me, it just gives proof that, it must be good to do it, because Maya put some obstacles there, So, but the point here is that this is a regular practice for us, is something that will give us tremendous power, tremendous strength. It's like an armor. We have to fight Kali Yuga. We need an armor. And we want to remember Krishna. How are we going to develop love for Krishna? By hearing about him, by hearing about his pastimes. That's how you get to love someone, when you hear. And because the Bhagavatam book, the pastimes, and Krishna himself are not different. When you are actually hearing, you are personally experiencing those pastimes. They can enter into your heart. And the perfection of life is to actually die, absorb in hearing these pastimes. You know, when Prabhupada was leaving this world, what was he doing? Have you seen the picture, the video?
He was
Huh?
translating.
He was translating Srimad Bhagavatam. You know, his body was emaciated. It was just bones and a little skin. The doctor came and he said that anyone will be screaming in pain, even with painkillers. You know, everyone will be screaming. You know, and you see, Prabhupada is crystal clear consciousness. He's speaking like practically what's speaking is being written in the book. He took shelter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and not only he was translating, but he was also hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. They were reciting the first canto to him. It's the weapon for this age. So therefore, we have to develop the habit to read the Srimad Bhagavatam. And sometimes because it's so big, it's like, oh, you know, tomorrow, next week, you know. But you have to actually plan that, no, I'm going to do this. Even if I start by, I've been doing this for some years, particularly, I took this part of my mission within the mission because I get so much out of it myself. I wouldn't be here today without the shelter of the Bhagavatam. I can clearly say that. Just reading the Bhagavatam, it makes you happy. If you're miserable, if you have any mental issues going on, anything in your life, just read the Bhagavatam. It all goes away. Yeah, because you get the direct association. So I was saying to the devotees that, you know, just pick, if you're not reading it, just pick the Bhagavatam every day. All I ask you to do is just make sure that every day you get the Bhagavatam out of the shelf and open it. Start with that, but do it every day. And then you can read one verse, you can read 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Gradually build up. But get into the habit of every day. Speak the Bhagavatam, read one verse. The benefits are immeasurable. We cannot, and so many verses are there. What is the Bhagavatam? Once again, is the mature fruit of all the Vedic literatures. Everything, all the knowledge, all the books that we'll describe that in the next class, but it's the essence of all the teachings. It's Krishna himself. So, today, for those who don't have a Bhagavatam, who hasn't got Srimad Bhagavatam set at home? Who hasn't got it? You haven't got it? You haven't got it? You haven't got it set of Bhagavatam? You haven't? So, today is a very good day to give yourself a Srimad Bhagavatam. You know? And if you want to take a step forward in your spiritual life, and you wonder what that step forward is, get a set of Bhagavatam and put it in your home. You know? And I always remember one friend of mine, he said to me, he bought this set, you know, the big set, the big books there. That was many years ago, in the 90s. It was quite expensive. I think it was like £350. It was very expensive at the time. And he said he bought it, and he said, I'm such a miser that I thought, well, now I spent £350. I may as well read it. You know? So he decided to read every day 20 minutes. And he's read the whole Bhagavatam now like 5 or 6 times. You know? Just by reading every day 20 minutes. So the point is you have physical, you invite Krishna into your home. And it will change the atmosphere. That's what happened to me. I got the first canto. I told you when I first came to ISKCON, you know, I didn't speak English. Krishna arranged for that Spanish Bhagavatam to come to me, eternally indebted. And I carried it with me. Just because I felt something. I was really under the modes at the time, but somehow, and then I read it, because you have it with you. So similarly, if you're going to read the Bhagavatam, get yourself a set. So the good news is that it's not 350 pounds anymore. And Madhava Kumar is here, or where is it? Madhava Kumar?
175.
So the big one is 175. And this small one, which is only the first 10 canto, is 65 pounds. And only a few left. 65, the small one. And there's only a few left of this small one. Actually, the Srimad Bhagavatam is 12 cantos. So this small set only contains first canto to 10th canto. So it's incomplete, but most of it is there. You're just missing
Just two cantos.
two cantos, and of course the big one, this one has, as the 10th canto, it has the Krishna book. And this one has, so the big one has got 10th canto with verses and purports plus 11, 12. Like this.
So the big one is a complete set.
Big one is complete set for
175.
175 pounds. Huh?
Half of 350. You were mentioning.
Half. So, 175 pounds is like nothing. Really. Yeah? And 65 pounds, this is like a real gift. Bargain. I like the small ones, you know why? Because you get these small books, you can put them in your bag, take them everywhere. I read it from the small one actually. And then you get to complete one book. And then you move to the next one. You get some sense of achievement, you know. With the big ones, it takes longer to get through the big volumes. But of course, they're both nice. I have the big one at home because it's, you know, a Vaishnava with a set of Bhagavatam at home, you know, it's a verse, a heavy verse there somewhere where it says that it's no good, yeah. Okay, so, and if you want also, not only you having one at home, but you can also buy a set and give it to someone else also. So I'm not going to ask you to do it right now, because I don't want to put anyone on the spot. I'm just, you know, like expressing the glories of the Srimad Bhagavatam. But what I really encourage you today is to get into this habit of reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Who has read the 12 cantos?
Here and there.
No, not here and there. Cover to cover. Can I embarrass you a little bit?
They embarrassed me, yeah.
How many years have you been coming
Me.
to ISKCON?
15. I lost count actually.
15?
Yeah.
15. Okay? So 15 years, you know. Prabhupada translated the Bhagavatam in how many years? 12? 11, 12? Okay? So Prabhupada was translating faster than we're reading. Right? And Prabhupada wrote the Bhagavatam from whom? For whom?
For us.
For us. There is a purport in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He said that all the members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness must read all my books. Means, Canto of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion. But if you haven't read it, and because he's quite nice, he's not embarrassed by it. If you haven't read it in 15 years, how do you know that you're going to read it in the next 15 years? How? You got to start, right? Sarvagya, have you read the 12 cantos? Cover to cover? No. Huh? How many years? Is this being released on the ISKCON YouTube? I hope not. Oh, yeah.
This will be on YouTube.
Anyway, it's okay. But the point is that it's good in one sense, you know, we can be honest, you know. So what am I going to do about it? If you got to start somewhere, isn't it? You got to start somewhere. So today is a good day to start. Any day for that matter. You know, and then and it requires, and what I find, okay, I give you a tip, okay, to do this. One thing is that we don't have sometimes the determination to do it alone. So you find yourself a partner to read Bhagavatam. I have 2 reading partners. Yeah. And I read every day on Skype. Okay? They are in Mayapur now, and I'm here. That every day we have a fixed time and we meet and we read. And then I know it's going to happen. Because if I don't have that, what happens is that distractions come, something happens, and we're not able to read.
Do you read serially or select some topics?
We're reading Chaitanya Charitamrita now, cover to cover.
Cover to cover.
We read Briha Bhagavatamrita already, cover to cover.
How long do you do usually when you do it for?
Well, we do it for, depends on the how much time we have. But I'm reading 1 hour of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And they read half an hour before Bhagavatam as well. But I sometimes join for that because I read that section before. Anyway, we just adjust. But generally 1.5 hours. You don't have to read for that much time. Even if you read 20 minutes a day. When you do it every day consistently, it makes such a difference. It's not the same to read 1 day, 3 days, no. If you read every day, that's how you get the taste. And particularly if you read with other devotees. And it creates a friendship. You can read with your husband, with your wife, family. That's what devotees do. That's what devotees do. And then, within a very short time, you'll have completed the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay? Thank you. Any comments, questions, or reflections? You feel inspired to read Srimad Bhagavatam? Yes? So who is going to start reading Srimad Bhagavatam now? Good. What about Benham? How far are you in the Bhagavatam?
Almost end of Canto 3.
Nice.
But only started like last year. So.
Good. Okay, so Canto 3. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitya Gaura Premanande. I will be speaking more on the Bhagavatam on Sunday and next week. And if you want to purchase a Bhagavatam today, you can approach either Gauranatharaj Prabhu or Madhava Kumar. And if you cannot do it today, you can do it some other day. The books are very beautiful, and even children, it's just nice to have them at home. They can go through the pictures. My wife was telling me that when she was a kid, she knew all the pictures from all the books because she couldn't read, but she would just open the books and go through all the pictures, So it's imprinted in her mind, it's there, sealed. And then you can read these books to the children as well. So, like we were saying the prayers at the beginning of the talk, that let the Bhagavatam be my companion, my friend, my well-wisher, right? Okay, let's go through one of those prayers before we leave. It says, O my only friend, Madekavando Matsangin, Madguro Mamhadana, Manishtaraka Madbhagya, Madananda Namastute. My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my great wealth, my savior, my good fortune, my source of ecstasy. I bow down to you. This is Sanatana Goswami praying to the Bhagavatam. O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O exalter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Always appear in my heart and my voice with pure love. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. His Grace Radhika Nagar Prabhu ki jai. I won't take much of your time, but just a couple of things. Firstly, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for inspiring us, for motivating us to read Srimad Bhagavatam. The difficult thing is to motivate devotees. I heard from Shriti Dharma Prabhu once, there are several jobs to do, but one of the difficult jobs is to motivate devotees. Because devotees, they have been here in the movement, so many things going on, motivation is very important. So Prabhuji has really motivated everyone of us to read Srimad Bhagvatam. And as Prabhuji mentioned, today is a very special day. Bhadra Purnima, full moon month, is very, very auspicious. So Prabhuji mentioned, if you don't have a set, you can take a set. But if you already have a set, you are free to donate one, and to your friend or someone else, and you don't know who to donate, we will find a good home. We will find a good home for you. The small set is only, Prabhuji mentioned, 65 quid.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Something like that. I'll check with Benam Prabhu. Any takers for themselves, first of all. Any takers for themselves. Anyone would like to take a set for themselves? Who don't have a set? Who doesn't have a set? Yeah, you are just coming. That's okay.
I am just come today, but I will definitely buy one.
Just the first time you coming today?
Yeah.
Somehow I thought I've seen you before. I was
So-
looking at you like I've seen you before. It's first time today. Welcome. Are you
Thank
from
you
Manchester?
so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So which set would you like to buy? It's a very auspicious day.
We'll need to show her what's the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will take time to take it, but I will take.
Okay.
You'll take a set.
I will. But
Okay.
not today.
Not today. She.
Okay, no problem. Thank
She
you.
will. She will.
What is
Okay.
that?
That's good. Thank you.
I can't read really. Can you read that? I can't because I need glasses now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please ask if someone is interested in small set of Bhagavatam, then I can sponsor only one set, but only one set.
Someone.
All right, you have told me that. Okay, so this
Someone is
wonderful-
sponsoring a set.
Someone is Mataji actually not.
You are sponsoring the set.
Yeah, she has put it in writing. Mataji would happy to donate a set of Bhagavatam.
Anyone here?
Anybody would like to take that?
Aaron.
Right.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
So I don't what are you gonna do to reciprocate?
Read it every day.
Good.
Okay.
Every
That's
day?
excellent. Every day?
Without fail.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And any others would like to donate any sets?
I'll take a big one
You take a big one
with the throne.
with the throne.
With the throne.
Yeah.
Where is the throne?
There is a golden throne.
You have a golden throne there?
We have to see. There must be one.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Nice.
Gold coated.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I
gold
understand.
coated, yes. So, excellent. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Anyone else who'd like to sponsor a small set or take a set for themselves? We have done 2 sets today. Wonderful. That's good. We got a Hindi set as well. In any Hindi readers? We got 1 Hindi set as well. If
Thank you.
anybody wants. Yeah. Excellent. So, but if you change your mind, you can always come and see Madhu Kumar Prabhu or myself, and we would be happy to take your Lakshmi and hand over Bhagavatam set to you, or send a Bhagavatam set to good home. Yeah. Thank you so much, and Prabhuji is going to continue.